The Spanish imperfect, pretérito imperfecto del indicativo, is the tense we use to talk about past events that don't have a specific end date. Even though English doesn't have a direct equivalent tense, once you understand the basic rules around when to use the imperfect tense in Spanish, it'll become second nature. How to form the imperfect tense in Spanish? We've got two handy rules to help you learn how to conjugate verbs in the Spanish imperfect. Let's take a look at these four verbs: ser, to be; ir, to go; tener, to have; and salir, to go out, to exit. First rule is that the endings for regular verbs ending in er and ir, like tener and salir, are exactly the same. Ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. See how both verbs tener and salir have the same endings? The second rule that will come handy is that regardless if the verb is regular or irregular, the endings for yo and él, ella, usted are also the same. Yo era, él, ella, usted era. Yo iba, él, ella, usted iba. Yo tenía, él, ella, usted tenía. Yo salía, él, ella, usted salía. Remembering these two rules will significantly reduce the amount of endings you need to memorize. When to use the Spanish imperfect? 4 golden rules. In general, we talk about 4 key uses of the imperfect. Let's take a look at some imperfect tense in Spanish examples. 1. Describing the past. Used to describe people's appearance, places, and situations. Hacía mucho calor en la playa y había mucha gente. It was too hot at the beach and there were a lot of people. 2. Describing habits in the past. The same way we use the present tense to talk about habits or routines that are happening right now, we use the Spanish imperfect tense to describe those habits or routines in the past. Top tip: if you're describing an action that you used to do, you'll need to use the imperfect in Spanish. We even use the same time expressions for the present tense and the imperfect. To illustrate this, we've compared two statements about habits in the present and the past. For example, siempre tomo café por las mañanas. I always have coffee in the mornings. Siempre tomaba café por las mañanas. I always used to have coffee in the mornings. 3. Describing the circumstances in which something happened. The imperfect is commonly used to describe events that give context for another event. Llegué tarde a trabajar porque el metro no funcionaba. I was late for work because the underground wasn't working. 4. Describing an action in progress in the past. When we are talking about an event in progress that gets interrupted, we use the imperfect for the event in progress and the simple past tense for the action interrupting it. For example, picture yourself on the way to the cinema and then, suddenly, you see your good friend Juan walking towards you. Me encontré con Juan cuando iba al cine. I bumped into Juan when I was going to the cinema. So, when deciding whether to use the imperfect, remember to ask yourself, do I know when the action started or finished exactly? Is there a clear beginning or end? Did it happen only once at a specific moment in time? If the answer to these questions is no, you will definitely need to use the imperfect. Now you know how and when to use the imperfect. There's only one thing left to do. Get some practice with imperfect tense in Spanish. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this on Busuu, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like.